Hey, what's up? And welcome to Yoga with Rachel. Also, welcome to day 10, our final day of our at-home yoga challenge. I'm so happy that you are here. In today's class, we explore fun and creative ways in which we can move on our mats while still building strength and flexibility in the mind and the body. All right, let's get started. Join me in a kneeling position on your mat. Tops of the feet pressing into the earth. Let's take a moment to rock our pelvis forward, roll the shoulders back, and tuck in the chin slightly, creating some length in the back body. Place your hands on your waist and then draw your elbows back in space to create a nice opening in our heart space. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. All right, hands come to the earth just to support you for this next transition. And now let's curl our toes under. Coming to sit back towards our heels. You may have to just guide that pinky toe down as well. And same key action points apply here too, where we're creating nice and beautiful length throughout our spine. And now let's swim our hands back and behind us, interlacing our fingers, reaching our hands towards the earth and then away from our body. Once again, creating an opening in our heart space, getting a nice stretch in our chest. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. And then on our next breath out, we break free, sending the hands out in front of us. And we're going to come back into that kneeling position, pressing into the tops of our feet once again. So hopefully your feet and the toes get a nice little stretch in there. And now I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Let's breathe in through the nose and then empty it out through the mouth. Our affirmation for our practice today is, my creative energy has no limits. Take a moment to consider your understanding of this affirmation. My creative energy has no limits. Perhaps you take a moment to consider some of the ways in which you demonstrate this affirmation on or perhaps even off the mat. So the postures and the movements that we explore today will invite us to move freely and in a playful manner on our mats. It kind of reminds me of art. I feel as if there's no right or wrong when it comes to art. We all approach things differently. Each piece of art looks unique and is special. We all have various perspectives. And I feel like this understanding can be applied to how we move on our mats. The postures may look different. Our transitions from how we get from point A to point B may look very different. We may explore different options on our mats, different tools. So in our practice today, I invite you to really tap into that creative energy, those creative juices. Just allow it to flow freely through you. Making this practice your own. All right, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And then sigh it out through the mouth. All right, you can open up your eyes if you had them closed, and let's make our way to all fours. Finding your tabletop position. All right, and then once you get there, let's lift our right knee and shin away from the earth, and then open our leg off to the side. We can imagine as if we are dogs, doing our business at a fire hydrant. And then back to center. So 5 times on our right side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful work. Let's take it over to the left side, hovering our left knee and shin away from the earth, opening the leg off to the side, and then back to center. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset back to tabletop position. Let's send our right foot back and behind us, but our leg will be hovering away from the earth, roughly parallel to the mat. Bend the knee, sole of the foot reaching towards the sky, and let's just find some baby pulses here. So reaching the sole of the foot a little bit closer towards the sky and then slightly down. All right, so we are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knee down and over towards the left. Left leg hovers away from the earth. We bend at our knee. And then once again, we find some baby pulses here, getting nice glute work in there. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knee down, come back to sit towards the heels. You can take some zombie arms here, pointing the fingers towards the earth. You can rotate through the wrists and connect to your breath. Wonderful. Now we're going to make our way back to all fours. All right, this time let's walk our hands towards the long edges of our mat. Curl your toes under. When we breathe in, let's lift our knees away from the earth, hovering here. And then when we breathe out, find your downward facing dog. So making this posture your own, tapping into those creative juices. So whether that means keeping the knees bent, to melt the chest towards the thighs, whether that means to pedal out the feet, taking your dog for a walk, just exploring the posture. We've been here a few times throughout our journey. So just find whatever feels good for you today. And then we eventually find some stillness. Breathe in through the nose, and then breathe out through the nose or the mouth. All right, let's anchor through our left heel, and on our next breath in, let's send our right foot on up towards the sky, finding a 3-legged dog, and then bend your knee. Let's take some circles with our right knee. No worries about what this may look like. Instead, focus on the feeling and the sensation. You can reverse your circle as well if you would like. All right, breathe in to come back to that 3-legged dog, straightening through our right leg, and then exhale, lowering the right foot back down to the earth. All right, same dance on the other side. Let's anchor through our right heel. On our next breath in, we send our left foot on up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, and then draw some circles with your left knee. And then you can reverse that circle. So the hips are going to be getting a lot of love today. All right, on our next breath in, we find that 3-legged dog, and then exhale, releasing the left foot back down to the earth. All right, now come up onto your tiptoes, begin to roll through your spine, shifting forward, and now we are in plank. You got this. Breathe out to come back into a downward facing dog. 2 more times, just like that. Breathe in, rolling forward, shifting forward into plank. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. 1 more time, breathe in. And out. All right, so now you can either hop, step, or just walk to the middle of your mat where we will meet together in a forward fold. Feel free to bend those knees. You can also find a little swaying action here from side to side. Allowing the head and the neck to just hang loose here, the muscles to soften. And then we eventually find some stillness, coming back to center. On our next breath in, send your hands up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart in prayer position. Feel free to close your eyes here. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Perhaps you even consider our affirmation for today's practice. My creative energy has no limits. Perhaps you consider some of the ways in which you've already demonstrated that here today on the mat. And perhaps even ways in which you can demonstrate this off of the mat, if you choose to do so. Breathe in through the nose, and then breathe out through the nose or the mouth. All right, you can open up your eyes if you had them closed. Float your hands to your sides. And now let's step our right foot behind the left leg. And we're pressing on into our whole foot. On our next breath in, we send our hands up and overhead. Left hand grabs the right wrist. And let's tilt over towards the left side. Getting a nice side body stretch. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And then when we breathe out, let's unravel, hands float back down to our sides, and now let's step our left foot behind the right. And then when we breathe in, hands go up and overhead, right hand grabs the left wrist, exhale, tilting over towards the right side. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. And then when we breathe out, we unravel, coming back into a mountain pose. All right, so now we are going to be exploring a balancing posture tree pose. So use a strategy that works really well for you here, whether that is holding onto a focal point out in front of you, holding onto a wall or a chair for support, or a person. Just find whatever works best for you and explore. All right, so our left leg will be serving as our standing leg. So let's press into the whole foot as we lift our right foot away from the earth. So we're going to try our best to level out our hips here. So we're really creating length through the left side of our body. Let's open our right knee off to the side. And with our right hand, let's grab our right ankle and place the sole of your foot either on the inner left thigh, the calf, or allow the toes to remain rooted to the earth, and the heel can rest on your left ankle. So your choice, find your tree, and if you are up here, press the thigh into the sole of the foot and the sole of the foot into the thigh, creating this oppositional force to really keep us nice and steady here in our tree pose. Hands can come to heart, or you can send the hands up and overhead, becoming a tree. And perhaps you tap into those creative juices, and maybe you even imagine that you are a tree. Branches are swaying in the wind. Maybe even just challenging our balance here. We're definitely building strength in the leg, in the foot. You got this. Breathe in. And then when we breathe out, let's relax. Coming back into our mountain pose. Our right leg will now serve as our standing leg, pressing into that whole foot as we lift our left foot away from the earth. And let's open our left knee off to the side and find your tree, wherever it feels best, whether it be the thigh, the calf, or maybe even the heel pressed up against the ankle, your choice. And if you fall out of the posture, please know that the ground is there to catch you. I have your back. And most importantly, you are there for yourself. You got this. One more breath cycle here. Breathe in. And then exhale, coming back into a mountain pose. All right, so we have finally made it to my favorite part of our practice. We're gonna engage in a little freestyle movement, a little bit of play on our mat. So I invite you to reflect upon, a number of the different postures that we have explored throughout our challenge, and you can pick a few and just move through those, explore them a little bit more. And of course, I also invite you to follow along with me if that feels better for you. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking so that way you can explore. Use your creative energy to just move. All right. hope that you really enjoyed that playtime. Let's walk our feet to the long edges of our mat. Toes point out, heels turn in slightly, Hands come to heart in prayer position. Let's breathe in. And then when we breathe out, begin to drop your center, bending your knees tracing over top of the feet. And then we'll reach a point in which we may want to release our hands to the earth and even lift our heels away from the earth. Find this rocking motion back and forth, dropping one heel towards the earth at a time in this low squat. Finding some playful and organic movement. And then we eventually find some stillness here. Feel free to keep your heels lifted away from the earth. Now walk your right hand to the middle of your mat. And then on our next breath in, let's send our left hand up and towards the sky. Look on up. And then exhale, left hand replaces the right hand. Breathe in. Right hand goes to the sky. Look on up. Exhale, right hand replaces the left. One more round. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Both hands rest on the earth. Let's breathe on in together. And out. All right, let's swim our hands back and behind us to support us for this transition. Coming to a seat. And now we're going to lay on our backs. So take your time getting there, no rush. And then when you do arrive there, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins, giving yourself a nice big hug. And then you can sway here from side to side, giving the back body a nice massage. And then we eventually find stillness. You can release that embrace. Send the soles of your feet towards the sky, but keep your knees bent, and then open up the legs. Breathe in. And then when we breathe out, let's send our hands through the middle, lifting our head and our shoulders away from the earth. And then we use our hands to grab either the outer edges of our feet or the inner arches, your choice. Breathe in. And then when we breathe out, relaxing the head and the shoulders back down to the earth, lengthening through our tailbone to really feel that connection to the earth. Our knees are bent. The back of the knee is at roughly a 90-degree angle. The soles of our feet are pressing into our hands, and our hands are pressing into the soles of our feet to deepen the stretch. And here we are in happy baby. All right, feel free to find some playful and creative ways to move here. You can rock from side to side. You can straighten through one leg, followed by the other. You can even straighten through both legs if you would like. Just exploring this posture, getting a nice deep hip stretch in there. All right, and then we eventually find stillness. Let's breathe in together and then breathe out. All right, you can release your feet down to the earth. Send the legs out long on your mat. Take up space, feet spill out, arms come to rest at the sides, palms up towards the sky, fingertips curling in. You can snuggle your shoulder blades underneath the back body to create a nice lift in the heart space. Tuck in the chin slightly, creating length in the back of our neck. And right here, right now, I invite you to close your eyes. Tuning your attention or turning your attention to the rise and the fall of your belly on each inhale and exhale. Taking a final moment to consider our affirmation for today's practice. My creative energy has no limits. What does that mean to you? Perhaps how did you demonstrate that here today on your mat? And maybe even consider how you can apply this affirmation off of the mat. And just like with art, there's no right or wrong, just something to consider. We will all have unique experiences, unique thoughts, unique takeaways. All right, my darling friends, so we are here for 5 breath cycles to end our practice. And I was laughing because I felt angels sniff my head. Anyways, we're here for 5 breath cycles. All right, oh, you can open up your eyes if you had closed them. You can wiggle the feet, wiggle the fingers, rock your head from side to side. All right, hug the knees in towards the chest, and you can come up to a seated position by coming to a fetal and then up to a seat. Or if you would like, you can place your hands at the backs of your legs, and we can rock and roll the length of our spine, making our way to an upright position on our mats. All right, you can bring your hands to heart in prayer position, bow your head. Let's take one final deep breath in together, and then empty it out through the mouth. You did it. Awesome work. Okay, so thank you so very much for joining me on this 10-day at-home yoga challenge. In case you are wondering who Angel is, well, here she is, my beautiful cat. And she's been a really great girl. She's been taking cat naps during our practices, allowing us to flow. However, I do love it whenever she joins us because, you know, she jumps on my back, she lays on my stomach. I find it really, really funny. She's definitely a natural yogi, aren't you, babes? Anyways, so thank you so very much for joining me for this challenge. I'm just so honored to have had the opportunity to practice with you and to connect with each and every single one of you. Feel free to let me know how this journey went for you in the comment section down below this video. If you are looking for some more beginner-friendly practices, you can check out my Back to Basics Yoga for Beginners playlist. I will link that in the right-hand corner. This playlist is really fantastic as it has a number of beginner-friendly yoga practices, and it also has tutorials. So tutorials can walk you step by step through how to do various yoga postures. If you are looking for another yoga challenge, her food dish just rotated. Feel free to check out my 7-day at-home yoga challenge. It's completely free, and I will also link that in the right-hand corner. And stay tuned because there's a lot of great things that will be happening on the Yoga with Rachel channel. I have decided to break my year down into different seasons. So our very first season will be hot, energetic, sweaty, and fiery yoga practices. Cannot wait to see you and practice with you throughout this year. Take good care and namaste.